You can now do a university degree course in Taylor Swift. How fucking low academically can you go? If you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off, okay?
Ricky Gervais takes a bold stance on Hollywood's political culture, openly challenging celebrities for using their platforms to push political agendas.
Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care. Talking of all you perverts, it was a big year for paedophile movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, Two Popes. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. Relax. I'm going to be nice tonight. I've changed. Not as much as Bruce Jenner. Obviously. And I found out my crime was that I dead named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did.
He critiques the hypocrisy of stars making political speeches while remaining disconnected from the real world, often mocking their lack of understanding and calling out specific figures like Taylor Swift.
You can now do a university degree course in Taylor Swift. How fucking low academically can you go?
Hi guys, Ricky G here, wellness and beauty influencer. As a celebrity, I know all about stuff, like science and politics. So trust me when I tell you who you should vote for. If you don't vote the right way, that's like a hate crime. It makes me sad and angry, and I'll leave the country. And you don't want that.
It isn't just about the people in front of the camera. In this room are some of the most important TV and film executives in the world. People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Look, talking of all you perverts, it was a big year for paedophile movies.
Gervais' humor is sharp, often directed at woke culture, urging celebrities to focus on entertainment instead of virtue signaling.
Our show Supernature dropped on Netflix last year. Big backlash, wasn't there? Big backlash. People going, you can't say that. You can. I'm willing to learn, and I found out my crime was that I dead named her. Now, I'd never heard that term, before a day after the Golden Globes, and that was saying her old name and even acknowledging that she used to be a man. But she did. I saw him on the Olympic Games. It was decathlon, it was in everything. It was all over the place.
He faced controversy for dead naming Caitlyn Jenner, which sparked debates about erasing past identities, but he remains unapologetic.
I have learned my lesson, and that's why I'm going to be woke from now on. It's about time. Well, I'm sorry. Well, I am woke, and now I'm woke. The first thing I've got to do is change my Twitter bio. Because at the moment, it's like a list of the shows I've created. But now I'm woke, I've got to pop in the word anti-fascist, so people know I'm not a fascist.
But it really is that case of people come up and they say, I was offended by that joke. And, my first reaction is, I don't care. Mm-hmm. Like, that doesn't mean anything. You're telling me how you feel. What I want to say why. And I'll explain to them. I'm willing to explain to them why the joke isn't offensive. I'm not one of the people that think, I'm going to say what I want, I'm going to be as offensive and then go fuck you as a joke. Yeah, well, that's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that, just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right, It's... offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what? So you can't second guess people. If you try and please everyone, you'll please no one. With comedy as well, I think you've got to deal with taboos and contentious issues, and sometimes you deal in irony, and some people don't get that. But you can't legislate against stupidity, otherwise you'll be doing nothing. So if you're saying anything...
Gervais also highlights Hollywood's hypocrisy, pointing out that while celebrities lecture on morality, they often work with unethical corporations. Through his critiques, he questions whether celebrities are making a genuine impact or merely reshaping their image to stay relevant.
Once upon a time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long, Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So... even Prince Andrew's like, come on, Leo, mate, you know. You're nearly 50, son. Yeah, but you shouldn't hurt people's feelings. Well, you can if their feelings are wrong.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like the facts, don't change the facts, change the feelings.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And also, then they try and do this thing. Oh, you should never punch down. You should punch up. Well, who's to say what's up and down is?
Yeah, it's subjective.
So you're deciding who's down and who's up. No. You don't get to do that.
Encouraging open dialogue and reflection, rather than shutting down conversations with political correctness.
But people then they go, yeah, but you shouldn't hurt people's feelings. Well, you can if their feelings are wrong.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't like the facts, don't change the facts, change the feeling. I love the new women. I know the new women. They're great, aren't they? You know, the new ones we've been seeing lately. The ones with beards and cocks. They're as good as gold. I love them. No, it's the old-fashioned with it. And now the old-fashioned, they go like, oh, they want to use our toilets. Why shouldn't they use your toilets? For ladies. They are ladies. Look at their pronouns. What about this person isn't a lady? Well, his penis. Her penis, you fucking bigot. You tell a sick joke with the express understanding that neither party is really like that. I wouldn't tell a sick joke.
This is Ricky Gervais, the no-holds-barred comedian with zero filter and a sharp eye for hypocrisy.
This ring your dead wife left you is worth fuck all, and she's made you look a right cunt on telly.
From calling out Hollywood's biggest stars to roasting the latest trends in woke culture, Ricky's dry wit and blunt honesty leave no one safe. He's been called everything from transphobic to racist, yet he remains unfazed.
I don't want any fat people to feel uncomfortable at one of my gigs, so next time buy 2 seats. I'm joking.
Are you ready to brace yourselves? Because we're diving into some of the very boldest takes, and there's one of his jokes in particular that might just change how you see him. Ricky Gervais, comedian, actor, writer, and the master of no-nonsense comedy. Known for The Office, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. Ricky's comedy is all about saying what others are too scared to say, no matter how uncomfortable. Hollywood, fame, society's quirks, nothing is safe from his clever, fearless takes. Let's dive into that one time Ricky absolutely roasted Hollywood at the Golden Globes.
I don't care. Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist.
Yes, diversity. It's all the rage in Hollywood these days, but here's the thing. Diversity doesn't mean ticking boxes to get everyone's approval. You can't just do anything in the name of diversity, hoping to please every race and group out there. In fact, people know when it's just a show. Ricky made that pretty clear. He's like, come on, just be real. No one's built to be this perfect democratic robot, right? Just be yourself, don't fake it, and that's exactly what he did. No faking, no nonsense. And then there was the infamous Caitlyn Jenner joke. People got it twisted.
No, it's the old-fashioned with it. And now the old-fashioned, they go like, oh, they want to use our toilets. Why shouldn't they use your toilets? For ladies.
They started thinking it was about her gender. It wasn't. Ricky was just poking fun at the absurdity of celebrity culture itself. His point? No matter who you are or how you identify yourself, your actions still have consequences. That's Ricky's humor, taking shots at the woke culture with a big dose of reality. Ricky's the guy who doesn't just talk about Hollywood, Twitter, or any hot topic. He rips them apart with jokes that most people wouldn't even dare to think, let alone say. His humor is like a knife through butter, sharp, quick, and absolutely no room for sensitivity. And if you're sitting there waiting for him to apologize, nah, I don't think so. He doesn't just make people laugh, he makes you think, makes you cringe, and maybe even start a heated argument at Thanksgiving dinner. And that's his goal, to speak his mind, and if you don't like it, tough stuff. And let's not forget his classic line, "You're not right just because you're offended." Drop the mic, Ricky.
Well, when you go on the Golden Globes, a lot of time you are politically incorrect and hilarious, of course. And so.
And wow, did Ricky hit a nerve with that one. Seriously, in today's world, getting offended is like a competitive sport. Everyone's got a gold medal in it, honestly. People are so quick to get triggered that you'd think there was a prize for being the most outraged. These woke warriors are like self-proclaimed moral police, and it's taken them to this delusional land where they think they're untouchable and pure. If you're offended, guess what? That's on you. It's not our job to walk on eggshells just so you can stay comfy. And if it's a joke, one that everyone else is howling at, maybe it's not me. Maybe it's you who's just, well, the odd one out. No offense though, of course.
Offense is about feelings, and feelings are personal. Some people are offended by equality. So what?
But if you keep canceling every comedian, every artist, every regular Joe with an opinion, pretty soon we're gonna be left with, what, silence? And even that might get canceled. Imagine being told you can't even be quiet anymore because that's somehow offensive. I mean, at this rate, who knows?
Humanity, which we mentioned, is your first comedy special in 7 years, and you say that it's the right time for it, the subject matter.
It's like George Carlin once said, it's a comedian's job to find where the line is drawn, then deliberately cross it and make the audience enjoy the ride. If you can't laugh at life, at the mess, at the chaos, then what's the point of living? And just when you thought cancel culture was the peak of absurdity, nope, you've got it all wrong. At this point, I don't even know if these people are mentally okay. Now get this, somebody told Ricky Gervais that being fat is the same thing as being gay. Excuse me? Is there some trendy new woke take on life that I just don't get?
I was listening to the radio in England a few weeks back, Radio 4, quite highbrow. There was a discussion about political correctness. My name came up straight away, right?
It wasn't just Ricky who was lost. It's people like you and me who are sitting here thinking, wait, what planet are we on now? At this point, being politically incorrect is just the new common sense. But the kicker? Only they are politically correct. The rest of us, congrats, we're now officially in the politically incorrect crew. Welcome.
You can't choose your sexuality. As we've established, you choose whether to eat too much or not, you know?
Now, in 2024, we're supposed to imagine a female with a penis. Yep, that's where we're at. Forget what we know about biology. Apparently, biology is just out of the window now?
With your sexuality, you're born, you grow up, you discover you like same-sex relationships, and that's it. You're gay, okay?
And then there's the classic, well, gender's just a social construct.
All women, I mean the old-fashioned ones, you know, the old-fashioned women. Oh, God, you know, the ones with wombs. Oh.
And let's not forget the woke warriors with their religious woke takes.
Because the insurance companies won't pay us, because they're saying it's an act of God. Well, what isn't an act of God?
Like, did God send you a text message? Are you the new chosen one? Because from where I'm standing, it looks a whole lot like you're just delusional.
What do they know, okay? Have they got a hotline to God? They call him up, do they? Ring, 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 ring. Hello? Could I speak to God, please?
It's like mental gymnastics, but Olympic level stuff. If God's handing out personal texts, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be the one getting a direct message here.
Did you make a tree fall on Steve Baxter's car? There's a lot of Steve Baxters. Steve Baxter, 2 Acacia Road.
And this is why I admire Ricky. He's not picking sides. He's calling out all of this madness, no sugarcoating, no sides. He's just out there telling it like it is, unfiltered, blunt, and somehow he manages to make it so clear what's legit and what's just laughable. No shouting, no getting all high and mighty. I mean, it's like the perfect mic drop every time.
But these people are virtue signaling. They're trying to bring people down to raise their own status. And they say it's because, no, we're protecting minorities. Like...
So, next time you see some absurdity, just go ahead and say, guess I'm woke now. Because if the only way to stay woke is by agreeing with the insane circus of correctness, then I'll happily remain as politically incorrect as humanly possible. The Ricky Gervais way. Nope, we're not finished yet, guys. Buckle up because we're diving into the ultimate hot topic right now. The gender debate. Yeah, you probably saw that coming. Come on, I mean, it's 2024. What else did you expect? How about that time he joked about gender? Boy, don't even get me started. Suddenly, biology, the thing we all learned in middle school, was offensive? You mean the same biology that told us XX and XY chromosomes define us? Yeah, I mean that one, right?
For ladies. They are ladies. Look at their pronouns. What about this person isn't a lady?
Ricky's take on the gender debate is simple. He's not out there throwing hate or attacking anyone's identity. He's just pointing out what's real. If someone identifies as a woman but still has male anatomy, well, newsflash, it's not the same as being biologically female. Sorry to burst the bubble. Feelings, hormones, emotions, they're important, and Ricky's the first to say respect everyone. But trying to blur the lines just for the sake of it, I mean, that can get messy. Now, Ricky's not against the trans community, not even close. But when one group's rights start stopping all others, things really get a bit tricky. Remember that infamous Caitlyn Jenner joke we talked about? People lost their minds, thinking Ricky was attacking her gender.
The big controversy last time I did it was a Caitlyn Jenner joke, right? Oh, outrage on Twitter the next day. And by outrage, I mean a couple of people going, it was transphobic.
But the thing is, that wasn't even the point. He was calling out the absurdity of celebrity culture. His message? You can identify as whoever you want, but if you mess up, you're still responsible for your actions. That's called accountability, folks. I mean, that's the beauty of comedy. Ricky's philosophy is simple. Jokes are meant to make people laugh. Some will laugh, some won't, and that's perfectly fine. But these days, it seems like woke culture has turned into a game where everything is offensive. You say one thing, offended. You say another thing, offended. At this rate, you can just say hey, and bam, you're cancelled. So, being the brave soul that he is, Ricky thought, alright, let's give this whole woke comedy thing a shot. And he really tried, guys. He really did, but let me tell you, it was about as exciting as watching a brick wall dry.
When someone says to me about another comedian, they say, oh, they're not funny. Even if I agree with them, I stand up and I say, well, you can't say that. You've got to say, you don't find them funny, you know? And I hate it when people say, that joke was offensive. I gotta say, no, you've got to say, you found it offensive.
Because here's the deal. Comedy needs an edge. It needs to make you sit up, look around and think, did he just say that? But woke comedy, it's more like, let me apologize before I even get to the punchline. Where is the fun in that? Like, where? I mean, actually where? I don't see it. If we're all too scared to laugh, then what are we even doing here? We might as well sit in the corner by ourselves thinking we're the main character while the rest of the world gently tells you, no, it's you, buddy, you're the problem.
It could be anti the bad thing. It depends on the actual joke. And this woman said, you should never make jokes about food allergies.
And somehow, woke went from being some obscure term to the new buzzword everyone's throwing around like confetti. It's like they all woke up one day and thought, hey, I'm woke now, time to cancel everything that moves. You want to stay woke? Fine, but don't act surprised when people start tuning out because you're offended by every little thing.
Because it's all about feelings, and feelings are personal. And there's loads of types of comedy, and comedy evolves, you know. There's a new type of comedy at the moment called woke comedy, right?
Speaking of offense, remember when Ricky cracked a joke about illegal immigrants? The woke warriors were ready to light their torches, my goodness.
Well, I am woke now, and I can prove it. Here you go. I love illegal immigrants. Yeah!
Love him or hate him, Ricky Gervais is not going anywhere.
You've been skeptical more than a lot of the Democrats about the impeachment inquiry. Were you surprised by what he did yesterday?
Well, look, the facts are important, and we'll get to that. I want to start with something that I think is also important about facts, because recently on your show here...
I was just going to get to that.
Good. Helping you out.
You want me to ask you the question?
Yeah.
No.
Tulsi Gabbard begins by addressing skepticism from fellow Democrats about her stance on impeachment, underscoring her focus on facts. She confronts accusations labeling her as a traitor and Russian asset.
Look, some of you have accused me of being a traitor to my country, a Russian asset, a Trojan horse, or a useful idiot, I think was the term that you used. Which basically means that I'm naive or lack intelligence to know what's going on.
They use that.
I want to let your viewers know exactly who I am.
All right.
Set the record straight. I am a patriot. I love our country. I am a strong and intelligent woman of color, and I have dedicated almost my entire adult life to protecting the safety, security, and the freedom of all Americans in this country. It was the attacks on 9/11.
Asserting her loyalty to the U.S. through her military service and commitment to national security. Gabbard points out false claims spread by figures like Joy Behar and Hillary Clinton, referencing Clinton's implication that a Democratic candidate hinting at Gabbard is being groomed by Russia.
I guess we're getting a little bit far ahead of ourselves, but Franklin Graham finds you refreshing. He doesn't find me refreshing. Richard Spencer, the white nationalist leader, says he could vote for you.
Joy, this is why,
I mean, you're on Tucker Carlson at least 10 times. Why don't you go on Chris Wallace's show?
This is why I'm here. You and other people continue to spread these innuendos that have nothing to do with who I am.
Well, Hillary Clinton started it, and then you shot back at her, boy. You called her the queen of warmongers.
You doubled down, unfortunately, you doubled down on the baseless accusations that she made that strikes at the core of who I am. I'm a soldier. Because of the attacks on 9/11, I enlisted in the military to go after and defeat and destroy the evil that visited us on that day. I've served now for over 16 years, deployed twice to the Middle East during the height of the war, where every single day I saw firsthand the terribly high human cost. That's why I ran for Congress.
We actually have the clip of Hillary Clinton, just to put this in context of what we're talking about. Let's take a look at that.
I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's the favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of, sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. That's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not, because she's also a Russian asset.
She finds this deeply offensive in counters by emphasizing her patriotic record and advocacy for non-interventionist policies. Highlighting her opposition to U.S. interventionist actions, Gabbard critiques Clinton's foreign policies, which she argues have led to significant loss of life.
So really? I mean, this is outrageous. This is outrageous and offensive on so many levels. I've served as a member of Congress now for almost 7 years, receiving high-level national security and intelligence briefings, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, working to ensure the safety and security of the people of this country. This is why I'm running for president, to continue that commitment of service.
So are you surprised, though, that when people see bots and things and all the things that we've sort of been seeing heading your way, that people have these questions? Because she's not the only one. Hillary, I don't think, is the only one. So what she's saying is she feels they are grooming you. You're saying nobody's grooming me. I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm a soldier and a patriot.
It's offensive to me as a soldier, as an American, as a member of Congress, as a veteran, and frankly, as a woman, to be so demeaned in such a way. But you called
her the personification of rock.
So demeaned
She's a woman
in such
too.
a way. Well, I'm pointing to the fact that she has continued this legacy of being the world's police around the world, that has waged wars costing the lives of thousands of my brothers and sisters in uniform. I'm speaking out against that. And
What's your evidence to that?
To change.
Well, can I?
Are you serious?
Let's hear it.
Are you serious?
Let's hear it.
I served in the war
Not
in
you,
Iraq.
her. You're saying that she's
exactly.
She's a
I served
warmonger. How do
in
you
the
come
war
up with
in
that?
Iraq
Yeah.
that she championed. She championed a regime change war in Libya.
Did you not believe in that war?
I believe the lies that were told to us.
She expresses frustration over being demeaned and vows to continue pushing for changes in foreign policy. Gabbard's presidential campaign aims to shift away from these interventionist approaches and calls out smear tactics used to discredit her.
Well, so did she.
Look, it is indisputable. It is indisputable to say anything other than the fact that Hillary, let me just close this out, that Hillary Clinton throughout her career has led with a foreign policy of interventionism and being the world's police, going and toppling dictators in other countries that has caused such destruction and loss of life. I'm against that. I'm running for president to change that. Rather than actually debate me on the issues, she and others are resorting to these smear tactic campaigns, seeking to undermine me, smear my character, and sending a message to anyone who dissents. Toe the line, or you too will be smeared.
The video closes with reflections on the dynamics between Gabbard and Joy Behar on The View and invites audience engagement while sharing insights on the interview's broader impact.
It's good. What's that? Say you need to stop picking on people. Start doing real jokes.
So,
This is Sammy who gets called out for being racist. And guess who did it?
Did I have a turban? No, I do not have a turban. However, I will say, okay, look.
Yep, our dear woke warriors. Let's be real, this whole woke culture thing is making everyone's head spin. 1 minute it's one issue, and the next, something else. Luckily, some of the best comedians are here to save the day. From being labeled racist to dumb, they just keep doing their thing, unfazed. Ready to see how these comedians absolutely destroyed this woke culture? Without further ado, let's dive right in. Starting off with legendary Ricky. In a world where cancel culture strikes faster than you can say woke, one man still stands tall, fearlessly speaking his mind. Ricky Gervais. Love him or hate him, you have to admit he doesn't hold back. In fact, he's built his whole career on the idea that if you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. Or as Ricky once famously said, you aren't right just because you're offended.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right.
See, that's the thing with today's world. Just because someone's upset doesn't mean we need to stop everything and cancel whoever happens to be in the spotlight. Keep doing that, and soon we'll be left with nobody. Ricky knows this, and is more than happy to poke fun at it. He's like that one guy at the party who says what everyone else is thinking, but is too scared to say out loud.
I think you've got to deal with taboos and contentious issues, and sometimes you deal in irony. You should polarise. You should polarise, because everyone's different, so...
When it comes to comedy, Ricky's got a simple philosophy. Jokes are meant to make people laugh. Some will, some won't. That's the game. But these days, it seems like woke culture finds everything offensive. Ricky even tried doing woke comedy once. How did it go? Let's just say it was as exciting as eating plain white bread.
And there's loads of types of comedy, and comedy evolves, you know. There's a new type of comedy at the moment called woke comedy, right?
Comedy needs an edge. It needs that little, did he just say that moment? But woke comedy? That's more like, let me apologize before I even get to the punchline. And seriously, what's the point of that? If everyone's too scared to laugh, then why are we even here? And speaking of blunt truths, let's tackle the whole biological woman debate. Oh yeah, we're going there. Ricky doesn't shy away from this one.
Oh, women. Not all women. I mean the old-fashioned ones. You know, the old-fashioned women.
If someone identifies as a woman but still has male organs, well, it's not exactly the same thing, is it? Science 101. People. Biology has two basic categories. XX and XY. That's it. No debate. Now, if you feel differently about yourself later on in life, that's cool. Feelings, hormones, emotions. They all come into play. There's a category for everything, and trying to blur the lines just to make a statement seems a little, well, ridiculous. And just to clear the air, Ricky isn't against the trans community. Not even close. He's made it clear that everyone deserves the same rights and respect. But when it gets to the point where one group's rights start stepping on another's, that's when things get messy. Respect is a two-way street. You can't just take someone else's space or identity because you want to. Let's not forget the infamous Caitlyn Jenner joke either. Oh man, remember the outrage? People lost their minds, thinking Ricky was making fun of her gender.
Can't mention him anymore. He's cancelled. Not enough to apologise and move on. You've got to...
It wasn't even about that. Ricky was actually taking a jab at the absurdity of celebrity culture. His point was simple. Whatever you identify as, you're still responsible for your actions. No one's above criticism, not even celebrities. And that's where Ricky really nails it. He's not punching down, he's just holding up a mirror.
Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist.
It's this kind of humor that hits woke culture like a brick wall. But that's exactly why people love him. Or, let's be real, why they hate him. Either way, he's not going anywhere. Ricky speaks for the rest of us, who are tired of being told what to think, how to feel, and what we should or shouldn't be offended by. It's exhausting, isn't it? Not everything needs to be a social justice battle or a platform for ticking diversity boxes. Sometimes, a joke is just a joke, and life is just what it is, with no hidden agenda. Rick's just the loudspeaker for common sense in a world that seems to have lost its mind.
But these people are virtue signalling. They're trying to bring people down to raise their own status. And they say it's because, no, we're protecting minorities.
Ricky's not even trying to be controversial. He's just being honest, and that honesty feels more dangerous in today's climate than ever before.
Welcome to my show. It's not a show. There's no dancers or jugglers. It's basically a bloke talking.
Maybe that's why he's still standing, and others are falling by the wayside. He's just saying the things that most of us are thinking, but are too afraid to say out loud. These so-called woke folks just can't seem to help themselves from embarrassing, well, themselves. Honestly, I don't get it. If you don't get the joke, then just don't say anything. It's like Ricky Gervais said, the joke wasn't offensive. You just took it personally when it wasn't even directed at you. And that's exactly the problem. So, from Ricky Gervais' no-holds-barred takedown of woke culture, let's slide into Sammy's realm. Trust me, things are about to get even wilder. You ready for this? Because it's about to get spicy. Sammy Obeid. This guy was called racist for no reason over jokes he made. Like, seriously? First off, before we even dive in, I need you guys to check out the clip and think, were these jokes even offensive?
People don't like math, but half of us are math people. Half of the world is technically above the 50th percentile. You know what I mean? If you don't know what that means, you're below it.
They were just fun. Sammy's got this vibe, you know? He's the kind of guy you'd want to hang out with all day, cracking jokes and having a chill time. It's clear he's fun, laid back, and just being himself.
But I'm part Lebanese and I'm part Palestinian, so I'm in the news all the time right now. Now, it's crazy because I'm Palestinian and my roommate is Jewish.
But of course, there's always that one guy who shows up and just kills the vibe. You know the type, right? The one who can't take a joke and suddenly everything is offensive. Yeah, well, that happened, and Sammy destroyed him. And rightfully so.
Everybody has a good time. Bridge the cultural relations. It's very important. It's good. What's that?
Look, there's a big difference between having different races and being racist. Sammy was just doing what comedians do, talking about real stuff in a way that makes you laugh and think at the same time. It's not that deep. When things aren't shoved down your throat and you can laugh about it, you actually start to understand things better. And that's exactly what Sammy was doing, using humor to bring light to real issues. But nope, some people just have to overreact.
And I'm making light of it. I'm making light of it, brother. Why would the majority of the crowd be booing you?
So yeah, who's the racist now, bro? And honestly, that wasn't even the first time Sammy had to deal with these overly woke warriors. There was another time when he had to put one of them in their place. Sammy's doing his thing, normal stand-up comedy, the crowd's vibing, everyone's having a great time. Then, out of nowhere, some guy stands up and starts acting all politically woke, like he's about to save the world or something. Yeah, you already know where this is going.
You know, or we could just not bomb anyone. That's another alternative.
Politics ain't funny.
That one too, I guess you want to...
The guy tries to call Sammy out, and honestly, it's just embarrassing. Like, how do some people take jokes so seriously? They act like they're the smartest person in the room, trying to be all high and mighty. It's painful to watch.
Politics is some funny man.
Right.
What's up?
Read the room.
Read the room, yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing. If you can't handle jokes, why are you even at a comedy show? Comedy is supposed to make you laugh, maybe push some boundaries, and yeah, sometimes it'll make you think. But it's not supposed to be a lecture.
Israel-Palestine is this guy's whole personality. That's all he talks about in his set now. So it's such like a Gen Z thing to say.
He's not there to offend anyone. He's there to make people laugh and maybe challenge them to see things in a new light. And if some overly woke person doesn't like it, that's on them. So next time you're watching a comedy show, just chill out. If you don't get the joke, move on. No need to kill the vibe for everyone else, right? And now we've saved the best for last, Kavan. This guy absolutely tore apart and demolished woke culture in his signature, no-nonsense and bold style. And wow, did he deliver?
I was performing at a college. Now, colleges are notoriously fun. At least they used to be. College kids used to party, right?
Let's be real. College students these days seem like they're just waiting for something to protest. Like, they're out there, ready to jump at anything, acting like they're the champions of every cause. Oh, we support this, we support that.
Cruise ships used to be boring. Old people who are conservative, they're not gonna laugh. College kids used to... Everything has changed.
But, excuse me? What is the comedian supposed to talk about then? Oh, and let's not forget that hilarious moment when he was called out for not keeping up with the ever-growing acronym.
Other than that, say whatever you want. We're really big into freedom of speech on this campus. Are you, though?
LGBTQ? No, we've moved on to LGBTQIAA+. are bad for not knowing.
Did you guys know they did an update? No. If you did, that's cool. That you're like an iPhone 16. You're updated.
Kavan didn't stop there. He literally goes on to explain each letter.
We all know LGBTQ, but what's I? Who knows I? You know I? Intersexual. I looked at that, I'm like, maybe that's me.
Thanks for the update, I guess. Honestly, Kavan's bit was brilliant. He showed how ridiculous it all is and how quickly people get offended over nothing. It's like a comedy show turns into a who can be the most woke contest.